Mark Black, author of Live Life from the Heart, and in this video I wanted to talk to you about a question I get asked all the time, which is, how do I create the life I really want? And so I wanted to give you a couple of suggestions because I know that for most of us we struggle sometimes with either knowing what we want or knowing how to make it happen. And the big part of the problem for most of us is that we just never take the time to figure it out. We're busy, we're running back and forth trying to make everything happen in our lives, and we just don't sit down and get real intentional about what kind of life we want to live. And so in this video I want to give you 3 quick, easy strategies that you can apply right now to help you not only figure out what kind of life you want to live, but how to execute it and to live it as well. And so the first thing to do is to define it. What does your ideal life look like? What is it that you're after? What is it that you want to achieve? Most of us think that we know what we want, but when you get right down to asking someone to define it, it gets pretty tricky. We never take the time to sit down and write it down. What does that look like? What does it mean? Someone might say, well, I want to be wealthy. Well, wealth for one person is $10,000 and wealth for another is $10 million. What does it mean to you? Or you might say, well, I want to be healthy. And if you know anything about my story, health is a huge priority for me because I know what it's like to not have health. But that's also a relative term. I would have considered myself very healthy at 13 years old, even though I was battling a congenital heart defect. But compared to when I was 24 and facing death and my heart was in dramatic heart failure, 13 was actually pretty healthy. So it's all a matter of defining what do these things mean to you so that you can then go out and try and achieve them. So list. I'm a big fan of paper and pencil, right? Old-fashioned way. Sit down and dream up your life. What is it you want it to look like? What do you want it to be about? Then you can move to the next step. And the next step is you just commit to it. I think a lot of us fall victim to the idea that we live in a world of easy, quick solutions, right? We live in a world of instant gratification. And so it's tempting to believe that I can just kind of dream something up and it's supposed to happen for me. And it's just not the way it works. In order to have one thing, you have to say no to a lot of other things. It requires that you make certain decisions and that you apply yourself fully to what it is you really want. So make that commitment to yourself, to your loved ones, to your coworkers, to whoever you need to make them to in the context of that particular thing, and say, I'm going to do what it takes to achieve this particular thing. So let's take an example. Let's pretend that you want to lose 10 pounds. Pretty relatable goal for most of us. Well, what does that take? Well, it takes commitment, right? It takes committing to a diet plan, committing to an exercise program, and to execute that strategically over and over and over a consistent period of time until you realize the goal. Which brings us to the third thing that you need to do in order to achieve the life you want, which is you have to be willing to sacrifice. You have to be willing to say no to things. In order to say yes, a full, complete, passionate yes to one thing, we have to be willing to say no to other things. And this is something that, for me anyway, has been a struggle in my life. I don't know if you can relate, but you get so many opportunities, so many different things come your way. There are so many things you could do. But if you try and do them all, you end up making no progress and you get nowhere. And so instead, we need to get real intentional about what are the most important things. What are the key things that I want? What are the things that I'm willing to say no to other things in order to achieve? So back to the diet case, if I want to lose 10 pounds, I need to be willing to say no to the cake after supper maybe, or I need to say no to going out to fast food places, or I need to get really intentional if I travel a lot, in my case, to eat healthy when I'm on the road. So if you really want something, and that's what you have to decide, do I really want it or not? If you do, then you have to be willing to make the sacrifices necessary to achieve it. Take you back quickly to a story of my life. I've trained and completed several marathons. And I can tell you that in order to complete a marathon, all you really need to do is commit to it and execute your plan. I get comments from people all the time, oh, I could never do that. I could never run a marathon. And I say, no, you just don't want to, which is fine. That's not something we all want to achieve in our lives. But if you wanted to, you could do it because really there's virtually no skill involved. It's simply a matter of putting on a pair of sneakers and putting one foot in front of the other until you get to the finish line. So it's not about a honed skill, it's about a commitment and a desire. It means saying no to sitting on the couch and watching TV and going out to do your run so that you're training. It means saying no to staying up late at night so that I can get enough rest to have the energy I need to complete the long runs. It means saying no to empty calories and things that I might like to eat that are not going to really fuel my body properly, so that I can say yes to eating the right way. And if you make all of those sacrifices and those commitments, when it comes time to actually complete the event, you're ready and you can do it. And I've watched hundreds of people finish marathons, and many of them have what you might consider unconventional body types to run marathons. But they had the commitment and the desire to do it, and so they completed the event. And so if you can do those three things, define what it is you want, and that takes sitting down and really figuring it out. And then once you've articulated what it is you want, make a commitment to it. Say, listen, I really want this. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get there. Which leads to the third thing, which is you got to sacrifice. You got to give up the things that don't support where you want to go, so that you have all of your time and energy focused on the things that you want to achieve. When you put those three things together, there's nothing that can get in your way, and you will accomplish things that you never dreamed you could. Hey guys, this is Mark. Thank you for watching that video. Do me a favor, if you're not already, subscribe to the channel. Click that subscribe button there you see. And that way you will be instantly notified every time I put out a new video like this. You can also share it on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you hang out, and let your friends know that they can be watching videos on this channel absolutely free as well. And as a thank you for doing that, I want to give you a special gift. I wrote a book a few years ago called Live Life from the Heart, 52 Weeks to a Life of Passion and Purpose. It is a guidebook to help you live a passion-filled life. And I've sold thousands of copies of that book. I still sell it to this day on my website and after events. But I want to give it to you as my personal thank you for having watched this video. All you have to do to get it is click the link you see right there on the screen, and it will bring you to the page where you can download the book for free right now. So go ahead and click the link, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.